is Ask Dr. Love, and you get the opportunity to ask me questions about acupuncture, Chinese medicine, Asian medicine, Tibetan medicine, Korean medicine, Japanese medicine, all the Asian forms of medicine, Hindu medicine, Ayurvedic nutrition, you name it, I've got the answers. So, Ask Dr. Love podcast is heard daily on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Radio Play, you name it, we're on their podcast. You can find the archives at anchor.fm/Ask Dr. Love podcast. You can say, hey Siri, play Ask Dr. Love podcast. You can say, hey Google, play Ask Dr. Love podcast. You can say, hey Alexa, play Ask Dr. Love podcast. So this is my opportunity to share with you knowledge that I think you should know every day about how your body works. Okay. So we had a special request from a member of the tribe, Robert Edelmeyer from Austria, who's been a Qigong student for 10 years. You can leave it on the chair. Thanks. Okay. So how do we move stuck emotions? And Robert said, would you please share 6 healing sounds? So I knew what he meant, but it's actually 6 healing breaths. And the reason why they're breaths and not sounds is because they are sub-audible. Now, when you are stressed out, your shoulders have a tendency to rise up. When you're angry, you have a tendency to pull your shoulders back and stick your chest out. When you are worried about something, your abdominals have a tendency to tighten up. When you are fearful and anxiety, the low back has a tendency to tighten up. So what's going on with all the tension, tightness, pain? So how do we get rid of it? So there is a system called the 6 healing breaths. And this system is how we move this stuck energy. Now, technically, you should be able to move the energy out every single night. When you go to sleep, you have a self-healing mechanism that kicks in. But what if you toss and turn? What if you stay up till 1, 2 o'clock every night? What if you don't go to bed relaxed? What if you go to bed tense and wake up more tense? And we got. So in Japan, we took 24 seniors who had issues with their family and their retirement income and their housing. And once a day, we had them do the 6 healing breaths for 6 weeks. And we did a rating of their stress level, their heart rate, their respiration, their physical strength, and their quality of sleep. And at the end of 6 weeks, just doing the 6 healing breaths for 30 minutes, 5 days a week for 6 weeks, significantly improved their lives. Now, these are seniors. So what can we learn from this? Well, I'm about to teach you. Now, the heart obviously is in the center, left of center. Liver is on the right, right of center. Heart is left of center, right. Liver is right of center. The lungs are right smack in the middle. So we're going to start with the lung sound. Now, the lungs are considered white. But what if you have air pollution? What if you smoke cigarettes? What if there's indoor air pollution? What if your lungs are congested with asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder? Then your lungs aren't going to be white. They're going to be dirty gray, like cigarette smoke, dirty gray. So we're going to visualize dirty gray and then we're going to visualize it turning from gray to white. Now, you're not going to get a complete class in the 6 healing breaths. You're going to get a down and dirty, quick overview because this is a 3-hour course. So this is just the highlights of what you would get if you came to 6 healing breaths / 6 healing sounds play shop, not a workshop, a play shop, Dr. Love at the Blue Dragon Qigong Academy. So we're going to start with the lungs. So you're going to visualize dirty gray and you're going to go shh. And you're going to breathe in. And we do that 9 times. Now, how do we practice visualizing going from dirty gray to white? Well, you're going to have to close your eyes and you're going to have to look at light through your closed eyelids, and you're going to have to see the color gray. And then as you breathe out and push up, you're going to visualize that color going from gray to white. Your eyelids are closed, but you're actually seeing through the eyelids to the light on the other side. Now, the next one is the heart. The heart sound is ah. So since the heart's on the left, we're going to lean slightly to the right. Now, the color of the heart, bright red. The color of a disturbed heart is going to be dirty red, like burgundy. So you're going to visualize this color change from burgundy to fire engine red to Valentine red. Again, eyes closed, looking at a light. Now, we just did that 3 times. The minimum number is 9 times. And we do in multiples. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. So depending upon the depth of the congestion in that particular organ, whether it's from emotional stress, physical stress, or dis-ease, then you're going to do multiples of 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. So we just did the lung, liver, and the heart. Now, the kidney. So assuming that you're seated in a chair, you're going to grab your knees and you're going to pull. And when you pull, you're going to create stress in the kidney area. And the kidney sound is WHO. So it's not who, it's not H-O, who, it's whoo. And again, I keep forgetting to give you the color. So the color of the healthy kidneys is a royal blue. So I want you to imagine midnight blue, gradient change to royal blue. So midnight blue is sort of like blue-black, and you're changing it to royal blue. So again, deep breath in. And again, your eyes are closed, so you're going to have to visualize that color through your closed eyelids. And you're going to have to practice that with a light in front of you. Now, the next one is the spleen. Now, the spleen is different. So if you put your right finger, your right hand in the middle of the belly button, and the left hand where the spleen is, where we teach in the body drumming, and then midway between the edge of the bottom rib and the belly button, that's where the spleen and the pancreas is. So I want you to go under. So you see how I can get up under my rib? A lot of people cannot get up under their rib because they're so congested. So you're going to put your fingers up under the rib, and the sound is W-O. That feels so good. My spleen is very happy. There's no pain or tenderness. And years ago, as little as 8 years ago, when I would press on my spleen, it would actually hurt. So the spleen color is canary yellow. And if you're congested, if your spleen is not healthy, then the color is going to be like taxi cab yellow, like a dirty yellow. And so you're going to visualize that gradient change from taxi cab yellow to canary yellow. Okay, and so you're going to put your fingers up under the ribs, deep breath in, and when you breathe out, the fingers go underneath, and you're going to go. That actually feels good to me. I could do that all day long. Okay, so minimum 9 times. You probably need to do it 27 times, but that's something for you to figure out on your own. So we started with the lungs, then we went to the heart, then we did the liver, then we did the kidneys, and then we went to the spleen. There's one more, and that's called the triple heater. And what is the triple heater? Circulatory, digestive, and reproductive. So you have 3 different systems all wrapped up into one system that we call the triple heater. Now, is there a relevant organ in Western medicine? Well, what do you know? They just discovered it. They called it the interstitium. And that is a mixture of the interstitial fluid plus connective tissue plus fascia. Now, I got into a big discussion yesterday with some of my acupuncture and chiropractic colleagues, and they say, nobody knows what fascia is, Dr. Love. That's why we're in business, so we can help people understand what fascia is and how to move fascia and how problems with fascia cause pain. So you shouldn't be throwing around, excuse me, the camera just fell. You shouldn't be throwing around terms like fascia because people don't know what that is. So I'm here to tell you that fascia is underneath the skin, and the fluid is called the interstitial fluid. Now, Western medicine knew what interstitial fluid was. They knew what fascia was, they knew what connective tissue was, but they didn't know that all 3 of those together was one system until 2018, March 2018. They just discovered that those 3 together are one organ, and it's part of the endocrine system. They're discovering stuff every day. And that's going to be the topic of another podcast, is 3 cons by the Western medicine system, because they think they know what they're doing and they've convinced you that they do, when actually they're just discovering stuff every single day. So the interstitium is the Western medicine organ that corresponds to the triple heater in Chinese medicine that we've known about for 3,000 years. So shall we go with the tried and true, the ancient method, or shall we go with the new high tech where they're just discovering stuff? That's up to you to figure out. Okay, so the triple heater is done laying flat on the floor, and there is no color. And the sound is and that's the sound. If you had a big roller, do I have a roller? Yes, hand me that green roller behind you. Okay, this is called a foam roller. You can get it at Walgreens, Walmart. Okay.
Walmart.
And so if you had one of these, you don't have to have one of these, but you're laying flat on the floor and you're imagining that there's this big roller squeezing the air and the fluid out of you. And that is so that's up to you. Again, it's part of a course that we teach at the Blue Dragon Qigong Academy. If you're interested in finding out about that course, make a comment below and we will contact you and let you know when that course is coming up. So, dear Robert, I hope that I have satisfied your desire to get this information about the 6 healing breaths that you call the 6 healing sounds. Thank you. So now's the time to ask your question. Put it in the comments below. If you're on IG, Facebook, or YouTube, you can just put in a comment and we'll find out what the question is. We'll repeat it on the air so everybody can hear it, and I'm happy to answer your question.
Home of the Brave said, "Peace, Dr. Love. What is the difference between breathing in and out through the mouth versus the nose?"
That's an excellent question, my friend. Okay, so what is the purpose of the nose? There are huge blood vessels in the nose that literally warm the air. The lungs does not like cold air. So when you breathe in through the nose, there are little hairs that protect the lungs from dust and dirt and mold and mildew and what have you from getting into the lungs. So the purpose of the nose is to protect the lungs from dirt and dust and cold air by warming it. Now, if you breathe in and out through your mouth, then obviously the function of the nose is not there. Not really good. So there are very rare instances where you want to breathe out through your mouth, but you never want to breathe in through your mouth. Now, if you are on some type of spiritual process, then maybe, but unlikely. So the benefits are to breathe through your nose. Now, another benefit of breathing through the nose is what is at the top of the bridge of the nose? Is that the pituitary? Why, yes, it is the pituitary. And so the air goes into the nasal passage and hits the pituitary. Now, if you breathe in through the mouth, and it goes straight into the lungs. Okay? Now, how many times have you heard somebody say, "That doesn't smell right," or "That smells fishy," or "That smells funny," or "I went into this place and it just didn't hit me right." So the nose, the part of the brain that analyzes smells, does not go through the hypothalamus. It goes directly into the central nervous system. It bypasses the limbic system. It bypasses the hypothalamus. And it goes boom, right into the central nervous system. So that's what we call the nose brain. And that's really, really important because way back when, there was no bleach, there was no Lysol, there was no refrigeration, and therefore you had to smell everything. Just like animals, dangerous animals, can smell you 100 yards away, guess what? You could smell them 100 yards away. So you could smell a trap. You could smell a rat. And I don't mean a real rat. I mean, you could smell somebody who's supposed to be your friend who's not your friend because you give off pheromones. But because we wear so much perfume and deodorant and skin cream, we have lost our ability to smell on that level.
Dr. Love, what are some signs of stuck emotions?
Oh, signs of stuck emotions. Well, that's an easy one, Candace. If you're angry, angry is a healthy emotion that keeps you from getting taken advantage of. However, you cannot go to bed and wake up angry day after day after day after day. So the first sign is, I'm still angry about what happened. I'm still angry. So that's number one sign. I'm worried. So your daughter doesn't come home at night. You're worried about the safety of your daughter. And that puts you into an action mode. So you call the police, you call the hospitals, you call our friends. You do something when you're worried, but you can't wake up every day worried, 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 worried. Now, I'm going to talk about the current quarantine situation in a minute. What about fear? Fear is a healthy emotion that keeps you from getting killed. Nobody wants to die, but you can't wake up every morning full of fear. And yet, in the current climate in this country, people are waking up full of fear, full of worry, and full of anger. So people are storing these negative emotions. Now, the reality of the situation is that holding on to those emotions literally turn off your immune system. So all the self-protections that are built into your system biologically get shut down when you wake up angry, wake up fearful, and wake up worried. That is just not cool. It's just way not cool. So doing these 6 healing breaths is one way of de-stressing, letting the air out of the overblown tire before it literally pops. Okay, I hope that answers your question. No, it does not. Or you don't have another question. So in our current climate of quarantine, we feel lied to, we feel betrayed, we feel abandoned, and some of us even feel rejected, and even more of us feel abused. So in the Chinese system, that's what we call the 4 heart hurts: abandonment, rejection, betrayal, and abuse. And all of those things damage the heart. And if we're told, stay inside, don't go out. If we're told, you can't run, you can't walk, you can't go to the park, you can't go to the beach, the normal outlets that would de-stress us, the normal outlets that would actually turn on the immune system, is denied to us. Now, I don't know if they did that on purpose. I think it was just an accident because I don't like to play the blame game. But the issue is we've been told contradictory things. We've been given contradictory instructions for our behavior. So a lot of us are confused, angry, hurt, worried, and frightened. And all that weakens your immune system. So learning these 6 healing breaths with the color and the posture to stimulate the immune system in the individual organs is a really, really, really good thing. Especially visualizing the color gradients, it turns on the limbic system and your immune system. So, do we have another question?
My sister's doctor told her that her breathing is shallow. Can you recommend exercises she can do to correct this?
Absolutely. Her sister's doctor told her her breathing was shallow. Now, your lungs hold 7 quarts of air. Most people breathe off the top third of the lungs, which means that bottom third, where all the dirt is hanging out, never gets used. So what is the muscle that's used to push the air out of the lungs? It's called the diaphragm. And if you put your finger in your belly button and you draw a line right there, that's where the diaphragm is. Now, when you breathe out, the diaphragm pushes up against the bottom of the lungs. Now, the bottom of the lungs are even with the last rib, and the lungs are primarily in the back because they're protected by the ribs. Okay? So when you breathe out, when you consciously breathe out, you push up against the bottom of the lungs, but you also get the stomach, the pancreas, which is behind the stomach, the spleen, which is on the left, and the liver, which is on the right. So breathing out actually massages the internal organs. So number one, we're going to double our exhale. So you're going to inhale on a count of 5, you're going to exhale on a count of 10. And it's that doubling the exhale that's going to strengthen the diaphragm, that's going to push the air out of the lungs, because we want to breathe from the bottom of the lungs. The second way we're going to strengthen the lungs is called the cleansing breath. So you're going to put your thumb, and you're going to breathe in, and you're going to breathe out. You're going to breathe in, you're going to breathe out. You're going to do that 16 times. Then you're going to switch hands, breathe in with the thumb, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. You're going to do that 16 times. And you're going to do that twice a day. And that's going to be the start. Now, there's 8 breathing exercises that I teach. I don't want to overwhelm you, so you just start with those 2, the cleansing breath and the healing breath. And then if your sister needs more information on how to strengthen her lungs, she can contact me privately and we'll get a telemedicine consult.
No more questions?
There are no more questions. Wow. So that's pretty amazing. The breath is the center part of your health. You can go 40 days without food. You can go 14 days without water, but you can only go 4 minutes without air. So breathing is the single most important thing you can do. And to strengthen your diaphragm, you need to do breathing exercises. But when we add the breath to the color and the posture and the visualization and literally moving the energy, we can break up the stagnation that's causing those emotions to not flow. So energy in motion, motion. So I thank you all for watching, for listening rather, because this is a podcast. Thank you all for listening. Thanks, Robert, for dropping the question. And feel free, you can use your cell phone to contact me anytime at 81010. You can just text at Ask Dr.Love. And if you want to make an appointment to see me through telehealth, you can do that same method. If you want to see me in person and you're local in South Florida, you can go to Dr. George Love Oriental Medicine on Facebook, and there's a little button you can book an appointment right there. So as always, your health is in your hands. Prevention is the only cure. And if you want to be well, you've got to Qigong well. Until tomorrow, I'm Dr. George Xavier Love for the Blue Dragon Qigong Academy. Thanks.